Often recognized by horror fans as one of the more captivating rape revenge pictures of the 1980s, Savage Streets is a combination of gang warfare and the result of one girl's tragedy becoming the source of her bloody retribution. Starring the exorcist Linda Blair as Brenda, who easily serves as the brains and brawn throughout the course of the film, while acting as the head cheese behind a band of seductive misfits. Presenting Brenda as a headstrong Capitan with razor-sharp curves who can go from being sexy as hell to tough as nails in the blink of an eye. Directed by Danny Steinmann in 1984, Savage Streets tells the story of Brenda and her deaf-mute sister Heather, played by Scream Queen Linnea Quigley, who falls victim to a brutal attack by a rival gang known as the Scars. They leave Heather for dead after viciously beating and raping her. Played by Robert Dreyer, the lead rapist in charge comes across as a brash combination of Andrew Dice Clay and Fonzie from Happy Days, if the Fonz had ever decided to begin committing sodomy. And unlike your standard self-hating bully, Jake tends to take things to a different level as the movie develops. Going from a perverted piece of shit with an impossible dream of getting Blair in the sack, to a rage-filled killer who strikes back at Brenda by tossing her pregnant friend off a bridge. And as disgusting as he might be, he does an excellent job of making you hate the character. Even when he isn't shouting or beating someone senseless, his intense stare contains equal amounts of hatred and anger. As far as I can tell, Jake hit a point where loan sharking and molesting random women wasn't enough, and eventually had no choice but to experiment with murder. Unfortunately for him, Brenda felt the exact same way, was a lot better at killing people, and had access to a heavy-duty crossbow. And just as you can imagine, Blair wastes no time planning her revenge against the Scars. Dressed in a black leather jumpsuit with an arsenal designed for death, Brenda stalks the night seeking vengeance for Heather and Francine. An extremely mean-spirited movie, Steinmann knows how to deliver the goods, creating one of the most vile group of scumbags to set the pace for a perfect vigilante film. Using the primitive playground of 1980s Los Angeles as an anything-goes battlefield, creating a decayed urban setting for the movie, which went together perfectly with the grit, grime, and gore of the film. It also contains one of the most damaging rape scenes ever put out in modern cinema, as the Scars gleefully take turns assaulting Heather as she screams in silence. In order to pass the film with an acceptable rating for public release, this excruciating sequence was cut down, eliminating some of the extended shots of the Scars torturing Quigley. And while coming across as a female version of Death Wish, Savage Streets was able to earn its own reputation as one of the most creative vigilante films of all time. Steinmann wisely keeps the violence and sleaze coming at a pretty quick pace, including a quality girl-on-girl shower scrap between Linda Blair and Sybil Danny. And then another where they get into a separate brawl and Sybil loses her top once more, leaving very little to the imagination. In essence, this film has a little bit of everything a horror fan could ask for. Tits, violence, cheese, filth, more tits, more violence, and even a side appearance by killer clown's John Vernon, who plays a creepy principal with a disturbing obsession for Brenda. The movie lurches awkwardly from repulsive to cheesy to hysterical, until the grand finale where Linda Blair dons the black leather to take out the Scars one by one. It's R-rated fun that delivers on its promise of camp, shameless sexuality, violence, and over-the-top gore, while pulling no punches and hitting the mark where it counts. So if unapologetic, hardcore 80s action mayhem is your thing, then this is definitely a film you'll want to see as soon as possible.